sure you can hear one another. It sounds silly, but...
FMS setup. So, because we're going to just fly straight out of here, FMS setup, so flight management system has to do with your avionics and your autopilot if you want to get that set up, your flight plan if you want to put one in here. Something I'm going to have you do on every single flight, and this will be, and it's not necessarily in here, we're going to call it your flight plan.
Okay.
What I want you to do is I want you to hit the direct to button, and I want you to, and you use the knobs to put this in. Okay. So use the big knob, turn it once. I'm sorry, little knob, put the big knob back. Turn the little knob once, brings up the letters. The big knob will move the cursor, the little knob changes the letter. So what I want you to put in here is K-I-W-A. And now what we've done is we've told...
Sorry. Ground crew track 283 off of runway 12 right at...
Check.
I go.
There we go.
Crew track 283, gateway ground set.
What we've done is we've told the avionics,
Hotel Yankee crew track 283.
take me back to gateway.
Calling for the
So if you ever get lost, you can just follow this and I'll show you that later. But essentially we put in, I want to go back to gateway. What it's measuring the distance from is the center of the airport.
2706, gateway to the Archer, headed to your right, 212 center, taxi to Yankee Echo, hold for...
Say again?
That's where you're headed to.
That's where we're headed to. So we're going direct to gateway. So, flight plan, radios and navs. So, part of your iPad, did you bring it with you by chance?
Yes.
You did? Okay.
But I don't have 4-flight on it.
4-flight's not on it yet? Then you put it away.
Okay.
I'll just show you on here. So on 4-flight, and 4-flight is a lesson all by its onesie. So, we'll go to airport. We need the frequencies. So here is, and I'll show you how to navigate to this stuff later, but here's gateway. Here's the info. Here's my frequency. So this is currently on ground. If it's green, that's the one that's active. This is the active. This is COM 1. This is COM 2. You can, if you forget, COM 1, COM 2. Top is 1, bottom is 2. Currently, we're active on ground because the light's on. If I push COM 1 mic, go ahead and push that button. It switches it to tower.
Okay.
If I want to listen to tower, or if I want to talk on tower but I want to listen to ground, I can hit, so if you hit COM 2, right there, now I can talk and listen here, and I can only listen here. I can listen to more than one frequency at a time, but I can only talk on one at a time. But I want to be on ground.
So they can hear us right now.
They can't hear us talking, we got to push the button to talk.
Oh.
So we're going to turn this up just to make sure I don't goof that up.
Okay, COM 2 is just to us. COM 1 is tower.
Nope, it's whatever frequency you have in. So right now, COM 2 is ground. So if I push the button and talk, I'm going to be talking to gateway ground.
Okay.
If I'm here, I'll be talking to tower.
Oh, okay.
This frequency is the practice area, and then see where the blue box is?
Yeah.
So that's the one I can currently adjust.
Okay.
If I push in on that, push this knob in, see how it changes the box?
Yeah.
Now I can do two things. I can adjust the frequency. Big knob changes the big numbers, little knob changes the little numbers.
Okay.
The flip-flop button changes between the active frequency and the standby frequency. So I can switch over.
Control direction of departure.
This is the ATIS, and I need to get this information since I'm here.
Information India.
So, information India.
Gateway ATIS Information India. Time 1848 Zulu. Wind 140 at 6. Visibility 10. Sky clear. Temperature 17. Dew point -4. Altimeter 3001. Runway 12 in use. Expect visual approach runway 12 center. Turbojet aircraft expect runway 12 center for departure. Warning, runway 12 right has been shortened 3,200 feet available. Southeast 7,201 feet closed. Taxiway kilo closed.
So I need to listen to that. I need to have this information. The big part I'm looking for is this India, because when I talk to tower or I talk to ground, I've got to be able to give them that information.
Okay.
So we always climb to 3,000 feet, so it says altitude. So turn the big knob until the first number says 3.
Where is it at?
Right there. 2, 3, and then turn the little knob to the left. Nope, turn the big one until it says 3. Turn the little knob to the left until you get 3,000.
where am I
One
looking
more.
at? Okay.
Right there. That's it.
Awesome.
And then the heading, we'll use 125. So I'm putting in the heading of the runway. The runway heading right there, so he says 124. I'm turning this heading knob and this little blue guy's moving. See that? It's just a bug to give me something to aim at. Let's see. FMS setup, autopilot test. So we're going to FMS setup complete. Autopilot test, disconnect. So if you push and hold this red button, press and hold it, and then try and move these little, and this guy it should not move. So press those up or down and hold them. And doesn't move, goes the other way, doesn't move, perfect. That's what you want. Let go of that button, now push them. See how that moves?
Oh.
Okay. We're making sure this disconnect button makes it so those are disconnected.
Why are they separate?
Great question. Don't know.
You have to do it at the same time then.
You just got to do them at the same time.
Okay.
FMS setup complete, autopilot, so autopilot on. That makes sense. Disconnect. I'm going to run through these a little faster. Go around, check, flight director off, autopilot test complete, floodlight. So we just want to make sure the floodlight works. So if you look under here at this little guy right there, you'll see it kind of comes on, it glows green. Barely see it. This whole strip.
Oh, yeah.
Right?
Branch departure.
Wow.
So we want to make sure that works, but we don't need it on, so we'll turn it on. Position lights, go ahead and turn the position lights on. Flaps, full travel, so we want to go ahead and push this all the way to landing. Push this down all the way, it's going to click twice. 1, 2, you look outside, the flap should be moving.
Oh, wow.
Okay. We'll make sure they go all the way down, and then we're going to bring them up one click to take off, and you'll notice 2 lights are on while they're moving. When there's 1 light on, that means they're done moving. And then technically full travel would be up. Make sure it comes back even where it was before, and then we'll go to takeoff. We always take off with flaps in the takeoff position. And it says flaps full travel checked, then to takeoff. Altimeter's 2, so my altimeter is 3001. So this big knob right here, the little knob is the course knob, the big knob is the barrel. So big for barrel. Twist this until that says 3001.
Runway 12 center, taxi via Yankee Echo, hold short of golf on the hold back, crew check, 1077.
And then now twist this one until it's to 3001, and you're looking inside that little window right there. Turn the other way. It says 2990, 3001. So just past.
Oh, it doesn't go to the center?
So that would be 3010. This is 3000. I want 3001.
Oh.
So it's like
just right past it.
just past it. Altimeter, standby horizon, so pull that. It says pull to cage, and we just want to make sure that that's sitting level, and it is. Transponder code and mode checked, so this always needs to be 1200 for us, and it needs to be an ALT. You can put numbers in there, but we want to make sure it's 1200. If it's ever anything other than 1200, hit the transponder button for me.
One?
Yep. Press that, and then let's say there was a code in there. Let's put 4444, whatever. So now hit the transponder button again, hit VFR, changes it to 1200.
Oh.
Engine temperatures are good, so we want to make sure this is no longer black on yellow. We want to make sure it's white, and that's good. Parking brake released, we never set it. Max power 50% until engine temperatures are in the green range. So before we can do anything else, this has to be in the green. This should be 38.
Parking via Alpha Victor Whiskey.
Alpha Victor
During tax. So we want to make sure this is in the green. It won't let us do anything if it's not. And we would prefer this to be 38 degrees. Alright, parking brake released. We're going to check brakes. So I'm just going to check the brakes real quick. My controls.
2740 Gateway.
So whenever we are flying, somebody is always in control, and we always need to know who's in control. So if I say my controls, you respond with your controls. And then I say my controls. If I'm handing controls over to you, I say your controls, you say my controls, you put your hands on the controls. Once I've verified you've done that, then I say your controls. It's always a 3-step process back and forth. And it can start from either side, it doesn't matter. So, put it right, left. I'm going to go forward a little bit here, get away from the door. So, if you want, press on your brakes. Make sure they work.
Both of them?
Yep, at the same time. Push, 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 push. Yep, so you pushed a little harder on the left than you do on the right. That's why the plane turned. And then, in order to turn, what I want you to do is start tapping on that right brake. Tap, 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 tap. More, more. Keep going, keep going.
Am I pumping?
So, but if you hold, you're basically pumping the brake, but you don't want to hold it because then the plane will stop. Now go back to the left a little bit, tap the left brake. Don't hold it. We're not holding it. Now tap back to the right.
Parking via Hotel Yankee.
Hotel Yankee,
And then once you get close to going straight, you want to stop tapping. So now tap back to the left, kind of get an idea how that feels.
Yeah.
Okay, we're not going very fast. That's kind of the point. Back to the right. I want to try and line up the center, the wheel on that big crack right there. Let's see if we can get the wheel to be in line with that crack right there. Go back to the left and start. There you go. Get to anticipate a little bit, right?
Yeah.
So now I want you to stop in a straight line. Perfect. Just like that. So now everything is up where it needs to be. We're going to do, so we tested the brakes and we're going to check flight instruments. What this check flight instruments is I'm going to run through this flow and I'll give it to you later.
Okay.
Blue over brown, no airspeed, no VSI. Within 5 degrees of level, within 5 degrees of level. Outside air temperature is within 5 degrees of what's stated on the ATIS, and the clock is ticking. That's the flow. We want to make sure everything looks the way it's supposed to. Before takeoff check, parking brake we do not set. Seatbelts are still fastened. Adjustable backrests are upright enough. Rear door closed and latch. Front door closed and latch. Door warning light is off. Circuit breakers are all checked again. Elevator trim checked for takeoff. Just so this line here needs to be lined up with that. So we'll just pull that back to there. Flaps check takeoff, and they are. We look and verify as well. Flight controls check. So what I'm going to do, watch your legs, I'm going to just make sure that the stick is moving freely. So move that kind of in a circle like that, and that's kind of what you're feeling for. If you feel anything grinding or it's excessively hard to move that, then not good. Power level to idle. MFD EIS on the engine page still. Engine instruments checked, everything's in the green, motor switch. So now we're going to actually start doing something. What I want you to do is take the motor switch, and I want you to go from auto to A. Okay, did you feel anything? No, go auto. Now go to B. Now you feel that shudder?
Yeah.
Okay, so there's two computers running the engine. What that tells me is it's currently running on A. Now we'll go back to auto. You feel the shake again?
Yeah.
That means it's running on A. When there's no change like that, means it's running on that computer.
Okay.
What we're doing is we're telling it, try running on B. It goes, okay, it takes me a second to do that. Make sure the engine keeps running. Then we go back to auto, and we get that little shudder. So that's what the voter switch A auto, B auto. ECU test. So what we're looking for, ECU test button, press and hold, which is going to be that button. Hold on before you do anything. We got to make sure we hold the brakes. So press hard on the brakes. I'm going to let you experience this. What I want you to do is press and hold it until I tell you to let go, and I'm going to walk through what it's doing, okay? So go ahead and press and hold it. ECU A and B fail. RPMs are coming up. When it gets to 1800, it's going to cycle. Oh, you can't let go of it.
Okay.
You've got to hold that down the entire time. So going up, 1800, it's going to cycle. That's the prop twisting. It's going to come back down. So it checked A, now it's going to check B.
Oh, wow.
Up to 1800. Cycle the prop.
2833,
Comes back up.
Clear to the Yuma Airport via on departure.
Back down, hold the button until those two disappear. Now you can let go.
Okay, it just scared me.
4,000.
Fine. ECU test performed. Pitot heat we don't need. Transponder still 1200 for altitude. Fuel pumps on. Pull that switch out and lift it up. There you go. MFD EIS default. So now what we want to do is press and hold clear. See where it says default map? Press and hold clear until it changes. That's your default map. Parking brake is released, line of procedure, so this will be over there. Available power check performed. So when we're going down the runway, we need to do an available power check. It's based on altitude and air temperature. So we're somewhere between 10 and 20, and we're at about 2,000 feet, between 0 and 2,000 feet. So it's in this area, so we need to make at least 96% when we're taking off. If we don't, we have to abort the takeoff. So I will go ahead and taxi us out.
Should I let go of the brakes?
Yep, you let go. My controls.
Your controls.
My controls. Sweet. So you'll feel, you can't really feel when I'm pushing on the brakes, but you'll feel the plane kind of, it's a little jerky.
The brakes and the pedals are different. The brakes are on top. Okay.
Brakes are on top, the rudder pedals are on the bottom.
732, Gateway ground, taxi to parking via Hotel Yankee.
So we want to stay on the center line. Always want to fight for center line. Most of the time you're going to be tapping the right brake to keep it going straight.
Okay.
When we come out to here, we have to stop before this line up here. Usually where I want you to line up, so power to idle before we begin braking. I want you stopping right here next to this line. Okay. Before the line begins to curve. So now I got to talk to them and get my taxi clearance here. So these are the kind of things that you need to start remembering.
Okay.
Is this radio traffic? Gateway ground, good afternoon. Diamond Star 337 X-ray Alpha at Foxtrot with India, Johnson Ranch departure and negative route.
Diamond Star 337 X-ray Alpha, Gateway ground, standby.
7 X-ray Alpha. You told me stand by.
Star 337 X-ray Alpha, runway 12 center, taxi via Yankee Golf, hold short, runway 12 right.
12 center, taxi via Yankee Golf, hold short of 12 right, 337 X-ray Alpha. So he gave me an instruction, he's telling me exactly where I need to go. So he told me Yankee, which is this one, Golf, which is this one, and then stop before I get to 12 right. So hold short of 12 right.
Star 7 X-ray Alpha, contact tower.
Over to tower, 7 X-ray Alpha. So he told me to switch. So now I'm on tower because I went to COM 1 and I had it pre-programmed in there on purpose. And you can keep your feet on the rudders. In fact, I want you to keep your feet on the rudders. So you can feel what I'm doing. You can hang on to the control stick as well. You can feel what I'm doing. Gateway tower, Diamond Star 337 X-ray Alpha, short of 12 ready, golf ready.
Diamond Star 337 X-ray Alpha, Gateway tower cross, runway 12 golf, hold short, runway 12 center.
Cross 12 ready, golf, hold short of 12 center, 7 X-ray Alpha.
Pre check 1077 cross, runway 12.
So I can't cross that line right there until he tells me I can.
Okay.
And we'll talk a lot about radio phraseology and communications and stuff like that. It's very, very structured.
Yep.
Once you learn it, it makes perfect sense. And one thing to keep in mind with radio traffic is there's only so many things they can tell you to do. Pretty limited. But I do need to be listening. So if I sound like I've got a bad stutter, it's because I'm stopping talking every time I hear the radio crack.
2609 Gateway tower.
Got to be listening to them.
Cross 12 right at golf, hold short 12 center, 2609.
Diamond Star 7 X-ray Alpha, right turn Johnson Ranch approved, runway 12 center, clear for takeoff.
12 center, clear for takeoff, Johnson Ranch approved, 337 X-ray Alpha. Alright, I'm going to have you take off. So I'm going to have you on the controls. So your controls.
I control.
Your controls. So now I want you to control the plane. And we're going to go out onto the runway. I'm going to be on the controls with you. So put your right hand on the throttle.
Right hand here?
Yep.
Stay on that center line, right?
Stay on the center line, exactly.
You just have your feet for the brakes?
Yep, I just use my toes, and then once we get on the runway and we start rolling, we're not going to use the brakes to control them, we're going to use the rudder for the most part. Oh god, that was close.
We were close to what?
Hitting those birds.
Oh.
I would have had to abort. We hit a bird.
I was like, what did I do wrong?
Absolutely nothing. All the birds did the wrong stuff.
That was crazy.